West Michigan Live is on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Hey, don't get ripped off. Don't get scammed. There's always something you have to look out for when it comes to technology, and there might actually be some technology that keeps you safer. We're going to talk about all of that as we welcome in the studio right now Kyle Wentworth, founder, executive VP, CTO, Fusion IT, FusionIT.net. And Kyle, welcome to West Michigan Live. Justin Barclay and Neil Dion today. Let's start with Apple Pay, because Apple Pay, very excited. I got the iPhone 6. I had to rush out like one of these crazy fools. Now, I didn't stand in line. I didn't have to do any of that. I just walked right into a store and they had it like that day. I was like,
amazing.
Let's go. Yeah. So I got it and I left, and I love the phone. I thought it was going to be too big at first, but it seems like it's just right. I didn't get the Plus. I just got the regular. But I enjoy it, and some of the stuff, the photography with the video as well that does is really neat. I enjoy that. But there's something else that I've really been curious about and looking forward to, and that's this Apple Pay. Now, Apple Pay finally launched. I guess you have to upgrade your operating system to get to it in here, and I haven't done that yet because yesterday Greg said Kyle's coming in and he's going to talk all about it, and I thought, oh, I got to wait and see because sometimes they say, you want to wait till you update,
Yeah, wait till you update.
They get those glitches and things like that. So you tell me, what about this Apple Pay?
Well, you got to be on iOS Update 8.1, as you were saying. And then the app doesn't just appear. It's inside of the passbook.
Okay, so I have to go inside of another app.
Right.
Which is what you just were talking about, the passbook, for folks that don't know. What exactly is the passbook? What does it do?
It maintains the security and all the different applications and controls and features of security related to your passwords and whatnot inside of your iPhone.
So it's passwords. Is there credit card information in there at all?
Well, and that's the thing. The iPhone's not storing, these apps aren't necessarily storing your credit card. They're gathering that information and creating connectors for that credit card.
So it's in the cloud somewhere.
No, it's actually stored inside of that phone for Apple. There's different tools and whatnot. Amazon's is actually stored in the cloud. I mean, the Apple's you can synchronize and look up to.
So
not Apple's. I mean, Amazon's. You can go out to Amazon's website and actually see that one. That product's still in beta, but.
When you say password, so it's what's stored in the phone isn't my credit card information. It's just a way to connect, or is it the credit card information?
Well, the credit card itself, it captures the credit card information. You plug in all your information related to your credit card itself, and then it verifies that information through their credit card processing process, and stores information about that credit card in an encrypted form on the phone.
So somebody listening right now is probably thinking, there's no way I'm ever going to use my phone to pay for something. Flash forward like another year from now, we may all be doing it. But tell me, is there anything that I need? Because I hear this and I think to myself, just like anything else, it's brand new, and especially when we talk about credit cards, or as Dave Ramsey might say, your debit card. I'm in that Financial Peace University right now.
Right.
It says, cut up those credit cards. It's going to be a hard time cutting up my phone. How do I... should I be concerned about storing that type of information in the phone? Should I be concerned about this Apple Pay?
Well, Apple's done quite a bit of work to make this process secure. I mean, their whole intent in this is if the world's all right and the stars are all aligned, this whole process will be much more secure than maintaining a credit card in your hand. Wow. You won't have to pass a credit card back and forth to the next person.
Nobody
to process
actually sees it.
Nobody sees the credit
read
card.
My numbers.
Correct. Biometrically, it's controlled on your phone. You place a thumbprint, fingerprint up onto your phone to access the application. You walk up to a tap and pay system and put your phone up next to it. The phone vibrates, tells you that the transaction has started or has completed, actually. Mm-hmm. And then within a couple of seconds, as long as it would take a normal credit card transaction to process at the cash register, the receipt's popped out. You get your receipt. You sign it if you need to. You go on down the road.
Really? So, do you see a day with this type of technology where we won't be signing things anymore? That it just goes through and we can just grab something and walk right out of the store.
Well, biometrically, your thumbprint's a pretty good signature. People have figured out how to fake that, and you watch movies and stuff, and although they can do anything on the movies,
Sure.
but it is a very difficult thing to capture that thumbprint someplace else and reuse it somewhere else. So for somebody to have your thumbprint and your phone, and then you say, well, my thumbprint, I touched my phone and the oil's from my finger, my thumb, or on the phone, and somebody could swipe it off. Yeah, so you're constantly cleaning your phone on your shirt or something like that. It's going to take that off, but
so it's tougher.
If
somebody
it's a
wants
tougher
to get
process.
your stuff, it's a little tougher than it would be normally.
Correct, because the phone is actually going to encrypt that data.
Yeah.
It's going to maintain that data in an encrypted format. Can somebody decrypt that? Probably with enough time and effort and energy and the right tools and technology, you could decrypt that.
Yeah.
I mean, Configure virus came out a while back and encrypted all your data. Now somebody's got the ability to decrypt that data for you. And they've finally made that free as a service out on the internet. So, I mean, there are ways to decrypt encrypted data if you have the private and the public key and you can figure them out. It's all math. So could somebody do it? Yes. Will it take somebody with a lot more knowledge than what it takes to pull a credit card out of somebody's wallet you found on the ground? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But where are we with this tap and pay solution? You see it on some gas stations where you go up to the cash pump or to the gas pump and you see it says tap and
I've
pay
seen
up
that,
here.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you set your phone up there and do it. And the credit card itself, the tap and pay credit card options. I just went through my wallet last night. I don't have a tap and pay credit card. Now, this option with these phones would give you the tap and pay solution.
Is tap and pay, does that use RFID? What kind of technology are they using?
It's a wireless transmission between your phone and the receiver that's on the credit card machine. And you'll see it. You walk up to a credit card machine, it's got all the 10-key pad that's on it with all the other buttons around it. But above that, usually, sometimes on the left side, but normally above it, you'll see like a half moon kind of thing, and it says tap and pay.
Is it possible that could be intercepted at some point? Because you see these folks that
Very close proximity.
they got really good at putting these fake credit card scanners on gas pumps.
Right.
And so they started collecting all of the data that people used when they swiped their cards, and they were able to use those cards. Is it possible that at some point, I guess maybe the better question is it probable?
That's a better question.
That somebody will develop one of these receivers to intercept, that will sit in the middle between the actual receiver and your phone, and then start grabbing credit card information that way.
Well, when was the last time you saw somebody standing at your ATM machine that was standing there inspecting your card as you were plugging it into the ATM machine to see you were the right person that was using it?
Doesn't happen.
It's not very often.
Yeah.
The gas pump, probably there's somebody inside but they're not sitting there watching that gas pump like that. Somebody go up and do gas. You could probably put on a piece of appliance or something at a gas pump. In a grocery store, in a convenience store, inside the store, probably not as much.
Yeah.
Now, to say that somebody couldn't build a receiver that could listen to that kind of traffic, a very high-powered receiver, anything is possible when it comes to that arena. But it's getting more and more highly unlikely as the technology geniuses that develop stuff like tap and pay get tighter with their capabilities. You don't have to be right on top of the tap and pay for the solution to work, but you have to be pretty stinking close.
So let's just talk, and then we move on to some of these other data breaches that we're seeing as we have the holidays moving around. People are going to be coming in and buying things more at the stores and using their cards, whether it's a tap and pay with their phone or whether it's a credit card. But at this point, somebody might say, Kyle Wentworth is with us right now with FusionIT.net talking about some of these things. And
there's a dash in there, but
Fusion I-T?
Fusion-IT.net.
Okay, fusion-it.net. And if somebody says, look, I'd just rather use my cash. Is it really
You've seen
more?
the commercials. That stops the train.
Give me an example. What do you mean by that?
Well, all those commercials everybody's going through, and they tap and pay, and they tap and pay, and they tap and pay, and somebody pulls out cash, and the guy's got to open the register to finish the
I feel that
transaction.
way when somebody opens their checkbook now at the grocery store.
Right, yeah.
But you used to people write checks all the time, right?
Yep.
But now you see that person that gets out the checkbook, and they got to take that pen out, and they dip it on their tongue, and then start writing. You're thinking, oh, man, really? You're going to do
kill
this?
me.
Yeah. So it's an inconvenience, maybe?
The tap and pay is supposed to make this process more effective. It's supposed to make it more secure. It's supposed to make the transaction faster, more convenient for everybody. Mm-hmm. How many times have you walked into some place and you had somebody come up and say, "Oh, would you like that receipt in an email?"
Right. Quite a bit.
Yeah, quite a bit. And then the next time you go up there and you use that same credit card, that's the scary part because, I just emailed that to you.
Yeah.
That's the scary part, and that gets into this next section we want to talk about is about the security and the hacking stuff. But if you're wanting to try that tap and pay thing, the clerks, a lot of the clerks, I mean, it's kind of new. It's definitely new with the Apple side. Mm-hmm. Don't expect the teller to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Don't expect them to troubleshoot your phone. Don't expect them to help set it up.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to do that. Most of them are not going to do that, and they don't have the time to do it. So if you've got it set up in your phone and you're not sure if it works or you're not sure that they're set up for it, because not everybody is set up for it. There's only 500 banks. Mm-hmm. There's 22,000 retailers that currently have the capability to do this. Not everybody is set up for it.
Be patient, too, I guess you're
Be
getting
patient with it. But if you're questioning whether or not somebody has it, don't ask them. Just take your tap and pay up.
See if it works.
See if it works. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't accept that transaction, pull out your credit card and use the process. Now, that's the other thing is because not everybody has it, you're still going to be carrying your credit cards around your wallet. Mm-hmm. But at the benefit of being able to use it in places, then you don't have to pull your credit card out. You don't have to expose that as a security risk.
And if all that just kind of boggles your mind, blows your mind, carry cash is king,
Cash is king.
Continue.
You heard it.
More with Kyle Wentworth when we come back. He is with Fusion IT, and you can talk to him if you have questions about data breaches, any of these things that we see nowadays. It's nice to keep your money safe, right? But we'll tell you how you can do that and keep your information safe as well. As we continue next, West Michigan Live.
This is West Michigan Live on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Hey, Justin Barclay in for Neil Dion, and yes, we're talking about keeping your money, your information safe. Data breaches happening almost every day now. Kyle Wentworth with Fusion IT in studio. We were just talking about Apple Pay, and we want to talk about this quickly because you just said off the air. This is the way to pay with your cell phone if you have an iPhone 6 when you're going through the line there. There's some issues happening when people are trying to refund with some of these.
Yeah, they're having issues with, there's no credit card that was stored in the process. So the way that a tap and pay solution is stored inside of the database and the way that a credit card swipe is stored in the database are different. Yeah. So a lot of companies are having difficulties doing returns because they're having an issue getting the tap and pay process to refund back to the credit card.
And another thing to keep in mind, too, is that you said some folks have gotten charged double for, and it sounds like to me, when I'm reading the article that we'll put up on woodradio.com, that might be a human error type of thing because not the technology, but the clerk saying, it didn't go through because it's maybe their first time with this technology and they see it didn't go through, so somebody taps it again and you get double charged.
So that could be the case, but most of these systems that have tap and pay processes, they have a technology in place. They have a catcher in place that says, if I swiped it once and somebody swipes it again, don't accept a second swipe without a manager's approval. So McDonald's was running through that. People were trying to pay at McDonald's, and it wouldn't go.
What do I do? Hand them the phone when I go through the drive-thru?
No, yeah, right. Yeah, right.
No, I'm not doing that. Let's talk about data breaches because we got a lot going on here. You said a very scary statistic. There's nearly every day another one coming out.
It's nuts. Staples on October 22nd. Snapchat. Snapsave.com, October 13th. Sears Holding, October 10th. Sasludo Yacht Club, October 10th. The Evolution Store, October 9th. AT&T, October 6th. Community Technology Alliance, October 2nd.
When we say data breach, what is that? This is information, could be your credit cards, could be passwords, it could be anything.
Right. Some of them have been strictly related to credit card systems and credit card hacking. Some of them, a couple of them were just names, addresses, email addresses, things like that, phone numbers. That was Staples. Healthcare.gov. Somebody got into the test website on September 4th.
No.
So
Really?
a lot of this has to go back to the POS system, the point of sale system.
I would use a different terminology.
Yeah. Well, we know that. So the point of sale systems, a lot of them are still based off of Windows XP. The technology that the developer who wrote the point of sale system developed it for Windows XP, and they haven't certified them for changes into Windows 7 or Windows 8 or any newer technology.
Sure.
So because Windows XP is a lot of the DLLs and whatnot that are built on Windows, that Windows XP was built for, were built from previous to Windows XP technology, and they were carried forward
How
from Windows
old is
2000.
that technology, XP?
2001, 2002.
Wow.
So because of that, you have older technology that people have already figured out how to crack in the past. So that's kind of a big deal. So
how do we keep our information safe?
Current. Mm-hmm. That's a big deal. Stay current. Get with an IT consultant that you trust that can help you constantly stay current. If you're in a field where you're accepting cash or accepting credit cards, where you're doing lots of transactional data with people's money all the time, and it's not a cash-based solution, you got to make sure that you are keeping those systems up to date, that you're testing them, improving them. Never let a user have the ability to update those systems. Never let a user have the ability to install software. If it's running Windows XP and you give a clerk administrative access, or you give them a login other than just generic logins to that machine, they're going to have the ability, when they're bored and not doing anything, to pop out to the internet, download something, and infect your machine. And a lot of these are related to malware.
You're telling
causing
me
problems.
that somebody would go on the internet and fool around while they're working?
No, not usually when they're working. I never see it.
Kyle Wentworth, thank you for joining us. If you want to stay up to date on more of this, obviously check out Kyle's website. It's fusion-it.net, Fusion IT. Kyle Wentworth, thank you for joining us today. Justin Barclay.
Thank you very much, Justin.
You're back tomorrow with West Michigan Live, News Radio Wood 1300, 106.9 FM.